Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but before that, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers Russell Wilson gets unfortunate news 3 weeks before NFL free agency. ESPN's Kimberly Martin argued on ESPN's Get Up that she would be shocked if the Pittsburgh Steelers brought back quarterback Russell Wilson. The future behind center for the Pittsburgh Steelers is still unclear. However, ESPN's NFL reporter Kimberly Martin left little doubt about where the Pittsburgh Steelers stand with veteran starter Russell Wilson. Martin stated while appearing on ESPN's Get Up on February 19 that she would be very shocked if Wilson is back with the Steelers in 2025. "I think we saw the full scope of what Russell Wilson can offer you at this point," Martin said, via Steelers Depot's Alex Kozora. "I'm not sure if the Steelers want to run that back. I think the Steelers need to be really clear about what direction they're going in, and I don't see Wilson as part of that plan. So I would be shocked." This isn't the first time an NFL insider suggested Wilson will not be back in Pittsburgh. But Martin's words were the strongest of any reporter yet, saying that Wilson will have to find a new home in 2025. The first 5 weeks of the NFL offseason for the Steelers has been a roller coaster behind center. Depending on the insider, the Steelers are expected to bring back Wilson, Justin Fields, or neither, instead targeting a free agent quarterback such as Aaron Rodgers or Daniel Jones. Drafting a quarterback early in the 2025 NFL draft isn't out of the question either. Most of the chatter that Wilson could return to the Steelers sprung up after the veteran quarterback told ESPN's Pat McAfee how much he enjoyed Pittsburgh and wanted to be back. But that doesn't appear to be the most likely course of action the Steelers will take. Fox Sports' Jay Glazer predicted on February 5 that Wilson wouldn't re-sign in Pittsburgh and that the Steelers will likely elect to part with Fields as well. On January 18, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Jerry Dulac projected the Steelers to re-sign Fields and allow Wilson to leave in free agency. Martin only added to that expectation with her strong take on Get Up. Wilson started 6-1 for the Steelers in his first 7 starts after returning from a calf injury. But he and the team ended the season on a 5-game losing streak, including the playoffs. Wilson concluded the regular season with 2,482 passing yards, 16 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions in 11 games. There's still a lot to be worked out in the quarterback market, so it's very difficult to project where Wilson might land if he becomes a free agent. A natural fit for him could be with Pete Carroll and the Las Vegas Raiders. Carroll coached Wilson with the Seattle Seahawks for 10 years, and the duo won a Super Bowl together. Glazer, though, dismissed the possibility of that happening. Before the offseason began, Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio argued Wilson will not sign with the team unless he is projected to be the team's starter. That makes it hard to predict which team may be interested in Wilson. On February 16, though, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler named the New York Giants a potential sleeper suitor for Wilson. But Fowler didn't rule out Wilson returning to Pittsburgh. Fellow ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter also considers Wilson re-signing with the Steelers a much greater possibility than Martin does. Daniel Jeremiah likes this quarterback prospect for the Pittsburgh Steelers, kinda fun. Daniel Jeremiah has a quarterback prospect he would like to see the Pittsburgh Steelers target if they re-sign Justin Fields. Alabama's Jalen Milroe is the prospect Jeremiah thinks could marry well with Fields, given their similarities. Milroe is an athletic runner who has a strong arm, but the mechanical tweaks as a thrower have to be worked out. The similarities between Milroe and Fields could make sense. Team president Art Rooney too stated in January he wanted their next quarterbacks to have similar skills. If the Steelers did decide to resign Justin Fields and make him their quarterback going forward, I wouldn't mind marrying Milroe up with him. If you've got Milroe potentially in the 3rd round and you want to just become a physical, pound-it team, to go out and get a dynamic runner which you can find, Jeremiah said. I know Najee is a free agent. I'd like to see him get a little more explosive in the backfield. but having Milroe to kind of develop behind Fields would be kind of fun just to really go all in on that. Milroe's stock was once that of a first-round player, but after struggles throughout the season and at the Super Bowl, he is now a late day 2 or early day 3 player. If Pittsburgh could land him at some point in the third round or later, that would make sense. Any time before then is likely out, as the Steelers do not look like a team interested in those early quarterbacks, but rather the next wave of players. Former Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger again expressed his concern about the future of the Steelers' way in his latest Football and Podcast episode. But his former teammate and ESPN's Ryan Clark took issue with one major aspect of Roethlisberger's point. Big Ben suggested that the Steelers need to evolve to continue attracting high-end free agents to help win another NFL championship. Clark responded to the ex-quarterback by essentially arguing that's never been part of Pittsburgh's culture. All respect to Ben Roethlisberger, great teammate, Hall of Fame, first-ballot guy to me, Clark said on ESPN's NFL Live, via Steelers Depot's Ross McCorkle. But he's wrong because when you look at free agent signings in Pittsburgh, you think of names like James Ferrier, Jeff Hardings, Kevin Green, who's a Hall of Famer, and me. Ain't no way I should be one of the biggest free agent signings in a team's entire history, but I am because the free agency was not where the Steelers built their team. They built their team through the draft. Of the 22 starters for the Steelers in their last Super Bowl victory during February 2009, only 4 of them played games with another NFL organization before coming to Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers reveals wants in his next team. Could it be the Pittsburgh Steelers? Soon-to-be free agent Aaron Rodgers is looking for a new home after the New York Jets told him they would on. Seemingly, he will play another season in a new spot. That could be the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are one of the theorized teams to land him. Caught up in a brief interview with TMZ, Rodgers was asked what he wants in his next team, and he responded with 2 simple requests. That they want you, Rodgers said. And a good team. Rodgers is likely to find a new home at some point, but the Steelers seem like a far more unlikely team as they continue to focus on Justin Fields and Russell Wilson internally. Rodgers, who the previous Jets regime traded for from the Green Bay Packers, tore his Achilles in his first game with the team. This year, with a full season, he threw for 3,897 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. However, the Jets finished 5-12 even after acquiring Davante Adams. It is likely the Jets will designate Rodgers as a post-June 1 cut to save as much cap space as possible, and then when free agency hits, Rodgers can look to sign with any team. If they do not that and get some interest, the Jets could also explore his trade market. And you fan? What do you think of Aaron Rodgers' situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.